Hey guys, it's Griffinoni here. Before we get started with today's episode, I have a new nickname suggestion from you all in the comments. Today's nickname has been brought to us by UberDan9254, and he has suggested the nickname Electro for our Magnemite. While no explicit reference was mentioned in the comments, I like to think that the nickname is in reference to Electro, the villain from Spider-Man, who is able to manipulate electricity. So thank you very much, UberDan, for the suggestion. And now, let us begin the episode. Hey guys, it's Griffinoni here, and welcome back to Pokémon HeartGold. Last time, we made our way through routes 26 and 27, fighting many trainers along the way, and even going all the way through Victory Road, and weirdly fighting no trainers whatsoever, aside from our rival Argento. And now we find ourselves at the Pokémon League. Now, for you guys, it's been a couple of days. For me, it's been a few more days than that. And with good reason. In between episodes, I have been grinding extensively because I wanted to be absolutely certain that I could get this done in one clean run. And honestly, I just wasn't confident that my Pokemon were going to be able to get this job done, given what we're going to be facing and the levels that I'm ultimately going to have to fight in order to get through the Pokemon League. So my team's gotten stronger, a lot stronger. And I'd like to go over how my Pokemon are looking before we get started with today's challenge. As you can see, all of my Pokemon are now level 45. Most of them were in the 36 to 37, 38-ish range the last time that I did anything, if I recall correctly. So now we're all at level 45. So let's see what we're cooking with, because a lot of the Pokemon on my party have learned new moves as a result of leveling up, and I'd like to show off what they now can do. So first of all, Saris. It now knows Fly, Poison Fang, U-Turn, and Aerial Ace. I gave Saris Aerial Ace via TM. I had mentioned previously that I was going to give Saris Aerial Ace via TM once we got past a certain point, and that certain point had passed when we had caught Entei and Raikou. So now Saris knows Aerial Ace. On top of that, it learned Poison Fang via level up. I don't intend to keep Poison Fang in the long run. I intend to replace Poison Fang with something else, but for now, Poison Fang is a good move. It's great to have a proper poison-type attack on Saris. And the nice thing about Poison Fang specifically is that not only can it deal poison-type damage, but it also has the chance to leave the foe badly poisoned, which is a advanced form of the poison set as we have not really seen before. So it's nice to have that in my back pocket. Next up, Mizumori, also level 45. It now has Surf, Ice Beam, Perish Song, and Thunderbolt. In between episodes, I went to the move deleter to get rid of Waterfall, because as I said, I only needed Waterfall to get to the last episode. So now Mizumori's pretty settled with her moveset. Surf, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, and Perish Song is pretty much what you would want on a Lapras. And maybe Dragon Pulse, but I'll think about that. Anyway, Hogan is looking a lot stronger now with 151 attack. He knows Aerial Ace, Brick Break, Shadow Claw, and Close Combat. This is a 120 power physical fighting type move that will lower the user's defense and special defense afterwards, but it is a great powerhouse of an attack for Hogan to keep. Now, why have two fighting type moves? Well, in the long run, I do intend to get rid of Close Combat for something else, believe it or not. But for now, this is looking pretty nice as far as what I want on Hogan. Next up, Raido. Raido is also at level 45. He knows Headbutt, Thunderbolt, Signal Beam, and Thunder Wave. Headbutt is still kind of left over from a previous time using Raido to get through certain events, but I still feel as though Headbutt is a good side bit of coverage for Raido to have. Thunderbolt we obviously got via TM, and Signal Beam Raido learned earlier via level up. It's a very nice move. It's a special bug type attack that also may confuse the target, which I think that's going to be generally helpful on Raido. Next up, we have Akita. Akita hasn't changed his moveset too much, but it has upgraded on a couple things. So, first of all, he now knows Psybeam instead of Confusion, just a generally better version of Confusion in every way. Additionally, he has learned Future Sight. I have expressed my concerns regarding Future Sight in the past, and again, I don't intend to use this in the long run. But for the immediate moment, Future Sight is a slightly better Psychic-type move, and depending on how we play our cards today, it could end up being helpful. We'll have to find out. And lastly, we have Blazer with the moves Solar Beam, Focus Blast, Flamethrower, and Earthquake. Solar Beam and Focus Blast we got via TM. Earthquake we got via TM. We got that TM in the last episode. And Flamethrower, Blazer learned via level up in between episodes. So now we've got a rock solid moveset on Blazer. He is going to be doing so much damage as we go through these next few fights. Now, before we actually get into anything, I do want to address all the services here. As always, you have a Pokemon Center available to you. I will go ahead and heal just because I did have to do a little bit of grinding right before I did my take here. Additionally, there is a Pokemart here, and I want to be sure I go over this one because this has everything you would ever need. It's got Ultra Balls, Match Repels, Hyper Potions, Max Potions, Full Restores, Revives, and Full Heals. I definitely recommend that when you go into these Elite Four battles, that you get some Full Restores and Revives. Being able to restore your Pokemon back from the brink is going to be essential for this. So given that I got money to burn, I'm going to buy 20 Full Restores. And I'll buy a few Max Revives. I don't need too many, but I'll at least get a few more. So I think 12 Revives should be fine. So that has burned through the lion's share of my money, but that's all right. We have Saris at the Amulet coin, so hopefully we can help restore that. Now, what do you have to say, my man? What are you doing here? At the Pokemon League, you'll get tested by the Elite Four. You have to beat them all. If you lose, you have to start all over. Yep, that's why I want to be absolutely certain I do not screw this up, because it is just that important. There are other sources here. For some reason, this does count like as a full-on Pokemon Center. So if for some reason you wanted to do any multiplayer stuff, you can technically do it from here, though I don't know why you would want to do that. What do you have to say, old man? Some trainers suddenly feel discouraged and leave. My Abra can take you home, but trainers should just fly home lately. I feel left out. I'm sure my Abra feels the same way. Well, that's unfortunate. I actually like the Abra teleport mechanic. There are other Pokemon games that unironically use Abra as a means to teleport people, and I like it when they do that. I think Pokemon Coliseum and XD come to mind as far as them actually using it effectively. Right here. Which ranking do you want to see? Group ranking. Oh, this is just a record checking. This is not relevant to the Pokemon League at all, so we'll ignore that for now. I believe that is all the preamble that I can muster. I've got all the items I need. I've got a really great Pokemon. I think I will be slightly overleveled for some of these guys, but I will also still be underleveled for most of them. So I do feel as though I'm competently leveled to deal with everything that is coming ahead. So let's do it. Once you enter this door, you will be facing one of the Elite Four. They are really tough. You cannot exit once you enter. Are you ready? Be courageous and go for it. And like that, the path has been opened. Let's go. Ah, interesting. Welcome to the Pokemon League. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Will. I have trained all around the world, making my Psychic-type Pokemon powerful. And at last, I've been accepted into the Elite Four. I can only keep getting better. Losing is not an option. All right, time to fight Will! And of course, we have this amazing gym trainer music once again, and this amazing animation of this frankly spectacular design. He's going to be starting off with Xatu, level 40, synchronized for the ability with the moves U-Turn, Me First, Confuse Ray, and Psychic. Again, I am slightly overleveled for this fight, but I do feel as though it is a reasonable level to have given everything that we're going to be doing today. So, I'm going to open up with U-Turn and get Saris out of there. Because while Saris is generally more powerful than Xatu at the moment, I do not want to risk anything. And I think Raido's going to be best to help deal with Xatu. Yeah, see, Xatu is going for a full-on psychic attack. So the one thing I do need to worry about is that Xatu may go for Me First, but yep, it absolutely did. So Me First is a generally good move if you're faster than the opponent. It basically takes the move that you were going to use and uses it against you first. And of course I get paralyzed. God bless. Hopefully, this Thunderbolt should finish off Xatu. I'm not particularly worried that it won't. Yep, we're good in that respect. And Blazer is currently holding the EXP share, for those of you curious. Now, Jinx is up next. I think, all things considered, yeah, I think Blazer is going to be best for this. We need to bring out the God of Destruction here. Doesn't matter that he has the EXP share on. He's got business to take care of. So, Jinx, level 41, Oblivious for the ability, with the moves Double Slap, Lovely Kiss, Ice Punch, and Psychic. Pretty much what you should expect to see on a Jinx. Gonna go ahead and use Flamethrower here. Now, while we're going through this fight, I do have a couple of talking points concerning Will here. Believe it or not, Will actually has many similarities to the Elite Four member Lorelei. Both are the first members of the Elite Four with respect to their games. Both of them use Slowbro and Jinx on their team. And both have similar hairstyles and ambiguous colorations of the hair that are either purple or red, depending on the official artwork of them. Speaking of Slowbro, ideally Rido would be best for this, but given that Rido is currently paralyzed, I think I'm going to take a slight chance here and bring in Akira for this. Alright, Slowbro, level 41, own tempo for the ability, with the moves Curse, Amnesia, Water Pulse, and Psychic. We want to be sure that we do not give Slowbro the opportunity to set up too many Amnesias, because that could be a problem. So I'm just going to go ahead and use Shadow Bell, and hopefully that should do it. Akira has incredibly high special attacks, so this should be able to do it. Oh, nope, Slowbro is still tanky as always. So it is setting up with Curse. In this case, since Slowbro is not a ghost type, Curse lowers his speed but boosts his attack and defense. Not really all that helpful when it comes to Shadow Balls, but hey, can't complain. Oh, there we go. Full restore. That is to be expected. So weirdly enough, in Pokemon Crystal version, there was a gender data assigned to almost every character in the game. And this was present for when the opponent had dialogue to give. And I bring this up because as far as the data is concerned, even though Will is canonically a guy, they treat Will as a girl. And I don't know why they did that. But regardless, he has another Xatu coming up here. So I think I'm going to switch in Rido and probably do some full restore in here in a second. Let's see here. Xatu. Level 42, Early Bird for the ability. Holding a Citrus Berry with the moves Aerial Ace, Ominous Wind, Confuse Ray, and Psychic. So yes, it does have a straight up different strategy than the previous Xatu. I'm just going to go ahead and try to get off a Thunderbolt. And if this confusion does not allow me to get through, then I will fully restore myself. All right, oh, you're the king. You are the best. Okay, there we go. That takes care of Xatu. So now there's only one more Pokemon left to deal with, and that is his Executor. Think I'll have Blazer come out again. So, Executor, his final Pokemon. We Psychics don't give up when we're down to the last Pokemon. That's what makes us so formidable. So, Executor, level 41, Chlorophyll for the ability. With the moves Reflect, Hypnosis, Egg Bomb, and Psychic. I'm pretty sure this Flamethrower ought to do it. And there's a weird thing to kind of note about Will, aside from everything else I've mentioned. So every single one of his Pokemon are Psychic types, which is really cool. Don't expect that to consistently be the case. Will is actually the only member of the Elite Four to only use its respective type specialist. I can't believe it. Got over 10,000 money for winning. Even though I was defeated, I won't change my course. I will continue battling until I stand above all trainers. Now move on and experience the true ferocity of the Elite Four. So yeah, like I was trying to say, he is the only one of the Elite Four that we will fight today that only uses the type of his specialty. So all of his Pokemon were Psychic types, we're going to see that moving forward, the Elite Four are going to deviate from their type specialist a little bit. They still will prioritize their main type, of course, but you'll see what I mean in just a second. Also, I do want to point out, this is some really nice visuals that they have here. All these floating cubes going around to kind of add on to the environment. It's really cool, and it's very impressive that they were able to get this kind of 3D effect on the DS like this. So, let's go on. Oh, hey, he looks familiar. Let's heal for a second. Okay, like I said, you seem to be a little familiar. I recognize you. Where from, I wonder? Fwahaha! I am Koga of the Elite Four. I live in shadows, a ninja. My intricate style will confound and destroy you. Confusion, sleep, poison. Prepare to be the victim of my sinister techniques. Fwahaha! Pokemon are not merely about brute force. You shall see soon enough. Yep! Koga's back, baby! We are challenged by Elite Four Koga. He steps in with an epic sidestep. He's going to be starting off with Ariados, level 40, Insomnia for the ability, with the most Poison Jab, Spider Web, Baton Pass, and Giga Drain. Pretty interesting a start. I think all things considered, I actually am going to have Ceres focus on this, because with Ceres being a Poison type, she definitely has the best shot of not getting debilitated by Ariados. I think I'm going to go and use Aerial Ace, and hopefully that will be able to knock it out nice and quick. I want to try to avoid Ariados being able to set up Spider Web, but it looks as though I did not succeed. So let's try. Yep, he's going to go for Aerial. He's going to go for Full Restore. So, as some of you probably recognize, this is Koga. This is the same Koga that we fought in the Kanto days as gym leader. He has moved on ahead and has become a proper Elite Four member, which is really cool to see. So that takes care of Ariados. Sarah's got some nice XP from that. And let's say he's going to be sending in Venomoth next. I think I will, once again, keep Ceres in as long as I can. Keeping Ceres in for now is probably going to be the best option, not just because of Ceres' type, but also that Spiderweb can be a bit of a problem. Anyway, Venomoth, level 41, Shield Dust for the ability, with the moves Supersonic, Gust, Psychic, and Toxic. So again, Ceres being in here is going to be very beneficial because I don't need to worry about getting poisoned by Venomoth. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use Fly, and hopefully avoid Supersonic and probably Psychic afterwards. At least assuming I can get through this without any difficulty. Oh, critical hit! Let's go, Ceres. That's how we do it. And Blazer to level 46 as a result of that. Wants to learn the move Rollout. If I didn't have Earthquake, I absolutely would be teaching Rollout to Blazer, because Rollout is a really good move when set up correctly. But I'm going to give up on Rollout for now. He's going to be sending in Fortress. Okay, I have to switch in Blazer for this. Just because, again, Fortress is a very resilient Pokemon, and Blazer can destroy everything in his path now. Huh. Weirdly enough, Spiderweb didn't go off. Normally my speed's supposed to visually go down. Huh. Well, anyway, Fortress, level 43, Sturdy for the ability, with the moves Protect, Swift, Explosion, and Toxic Spikes. This is another Pokemon that can set up entry hazards, so we want to be extremely careful, and it's probably going to be in our best interest to ensure that he does not set up the Toxic Spikes. So let's go ahead and use Flamethrower. Now, in the manga, Koga was a recurring antagonist and a high-ranking member of Team Rocket. You know that infamous scene of Arbok getting sliced in two? That was Koga's Arbok. He also reanimated the corpses of dead Pokemon just to get in Red's way. And that's just in the first adventure. It gets so much worse after that. Anyway, he's going to be sending in Muck next. Fortunately, he was not able to set up Toxic Spikes, so I think I'm going to be switching in Akita for this. So, he now is sending in Muck, level 42, Sticky Hold for the ability, holding the Black Sludge item. This is an item that restores HP to Poison type, so it's generally a nice item to have. I think I'm just going to play the long game here. I'm going to set a future sight, and hopefully that will pay off in some way. It is a bit of a problem that Muck is using Minimize right there, but hopefully I can get off Side Beam without too many issues. So another thing to know about Koga, Koga is the only character to do what he did. Going from a gym leader to Elite Four was unheard of and has never been repeated since. He's literally the only person to ever try doing this, which does beg the question as to how that works logistically, but not going to complain about things. He's going to be sending in Crobat next, so I think I'll be switching in Raido for this last venture here. All right, now we're getting into some tougher Pokemon. One Pokemon left? Ha ha ha! I've been counting on this one from the very beginning. Yeah, Koga, to confuse our enemies, I know. Anyway, Crobat, level 44, Inner Focus for the ability, holding a Citrus Berry, with the moves Double Team, Quick Attack, Wing Attack, and Poison Feint. Frankly, not the best moveset for a Crobat, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and use Thunderbolt, and unfortunately, Crobat is faster than Raido, but that is to be expected given that it is Crobat, and Raido's not exactly known for his speed. Fortunately, Thunderbolt seemed to do the job. At least, I hope it does. Yep, there we go. And there we go. Ah, you've proven your worth. Got another over $10,000. That is so nice to get all that money. I subjected you to everything I could muster, but my efforts failed. I must hone my skills. Go on to the next room and put your abilities to the test. All right. Now, before we do anything else, I do want to point out one thing about Koga's Venomoth that I did not mention earlier. So, Venomoth is technically used by two major Kanto players, Koga and Sabrina, the Psychic-type gym leader that we fought in Pokemon Fire Red. However, what you may not realize is that it's never used by both of these trainers in any one game. Any game where Koga uses Venomoth, Sabrina does not use Venomoth, and vice versa. I don't know why that specifically is the case, but it is explicitly that. So, Koga uses Venomoth in this game, but in the other game, I'm pretty sure Sabrina used Venomoth. But either way, it is strange that those two trainers specifically interchange using Venomoth. I don't know why they both can't use it. But anyway, we have taken care of 2 of the Elite Four members. So on that note, we're going to end things here. I'm going to spoon feed you guys these battles of the Elite Four. So next time on Pokemon HeartGold, we're going to fight the remaining 2 members of the Elite Four. See you guys then.